There are changes taking place in our industry.
If we're going to survive in this game, we got to make some changes.
This is what they want on their land, and we're listening to what the people want.
Increasing market demands, environmental regulations, logging's public image. These changes are placing the future of logging as you know it at risk if you don't recognize them and take action.
I've seen the writing on the wall politically and environmentally, a long time ago.
Think about your business. The market is talking to you. It's asking you to make changes.
These days, real competitive, you got to maximize your dollar.
If you can't adapt or choose not to, the results could be fatal. Change, however, can also create great opportunity for those who can visualize the future.
We're making more money now than we were with our conventional means, and it's a whole lot less stress.
This is an introduction to the industry's most advanced cut-to-length harvesting machines, Valmet. You will have an opportunity to hear from forest professionals from across North America that are addressing the changes and successfully putting Valmet machines and the cut-to-length concept to work.
I've worked in the woods since 1974. Started out on the chokers, worked up to hook tenon, then went to fallen timber. Started in southeast Alaska, fallen timber, and then felled timber down here for about 11 years, and was gonna get off of the saw every day by the time I hit 40, so I started looking seriously at the thinning, and my eyes got opened when I saw machines like this.
I'm using a Valmet 911 here. I have a 901 and a 911, and I have an 840 forwarder. We've been doing cut to length for probably about 4 years now. We're cutting in the Quabbin Reservoir, which is the drinking water supply for Boston. So we have to be concerned with the environment.
I've been in business for 20 years. I was conventional logger, had whole tree chippers, had grapple skidders, boom delimbers, and started making a switch to cut to length 5 years ago. I just felt that timber sale design was mandating it.
We started with cut-to-length logging in 1994, introduced it here in Minnesota, and we really like cut-to-length.
Cut-to-length is a two-man, two-machine system based on speed, finesse, and technology. The system, along with thinning principles, maximizes the forest resource. In every respect, true cut-to-length systems have proven to be more aesthetically pleasing and environmentally sensitive than traditional mechanical harvesting practices.
Where we work, the ground is soft, it's wet, we get 150 inches a year of rain. The landowners, they don't want soil erosion. That's one of the advantages of the cut-to-length, where you're walking on the slash.
And with more public pressure to do work that looks nice when it's done, instead of looking like a bomb went off, that's pushing a lot of people to discover cut-to-length and what it can do for them.
So many of our sales in Minnesota are set up where it's winter only unless you have site-sensitive equipment, and this is the way we need to do it. That's one of the big gains I see with cut-to-length.
We have private landowners and the general public that are concerned about what forests look like and what their land looks like after logging or during logging. And the cut-to-length system is what the people want.
Valmet machines walk softly on the forest floor and deliver a clean, consistent supply of wood to the mills year-round, even under less than perfect harvesting conditions.
Cut-to-length and utilizing this machine, we're able to log on hydric soils all year round. Weather doesn't shut us down, and so we've been able to boost our profitability and our productivity.
I'm cutting ground right now that would have been, solid winter ground, for me 3-4 years ago before I went to cut to length.
We like doing these cut to length systems because of gives us an opportunity to thin some stands and to utilize a lot of the wood that we normally would just be mashing down.
We can improve the productivity of our forest by 25 to 30% by doing thinnings, and it's also a good way to improve forest health by removing trees that are suppressed and are impacting the healthy trees.
This is the only economically feasible way to take the small component out of these stands and leave the dominant trees, and cut that stuff down to 2.5-inch top.
We have to have These machines, we have to protect, we have to utilize, we have to sort.
Cut to length simplifies the process and puts at-the-stump merchandising opportunities in the hands of the contractor. Merchandising allows you to deliver precisely what is needed to your mill customers while optimizing the value from each tree.
That's one thing I noticed with my cut to length is I get a lot more high value wood out of my pine, a lot more bolts than I used to get, a lot less pulpwood, a lot more value.
A lot of these trees we're able to get at least one saw log out of them to 16 feet, sometimes 2 to 16 feet at a 5-inch top, and then utilize the pulp stick that's on top of that. So utilization with this system is much, much higher than it would be and has been with a long log format.
These sawmills all want their own specialty wood, and I think we can capture that wood and get it to the proper mill through sorting. You know, with cut to length, it's a lot more efficient at that.
They're a preferred log. They'd rather have our cut to length logs just about over anything else because you got perfect lengths, they're clean, and you send them through a sawmill, there's very little they have to do to them. They just fly through.
I just had a call this morning in regards to saw material. They want 9-foot saw material, Norway pine, and they don't want it 1 inch above or 1 inch below. And I feel with cut to length I can meet that. With conventional operations I couldn't meet that. I wouldn't even take that order. It wouldn't be something I would even try to achieve.
We get year-round wood production. We get the highest quality wood cut with this system. You can merchandise out excessive rot, and it's limbed right away, so we have high moisture content in the wood. And these things are very important for producing a high quality product in a world market.
There's no doubt that you can move a lot of wood with this system, but cut to length isn't about cutting the most wood. It's about understanding what your true costs are and gaining the most value from the wood that you cut, maximizing profitability for your entire operation.
I think loggers need to get out of the focus of how much can we produce every day. It's what do you make on that cord every day, and get out of that mindset of I need to produce, 100,000 cords a year. What you need to do is produce 50,000 cords a year, but make more on the 50 than doing the 100. And that's part of the focus with cut to length. You have that ability to do that.
You know, the way the stumpage is these days, real competitive, you got to maximize your dollar. If you sort, it just opens up more of a market for you. You can move more wood without filling your quotas with a little bit higher quality product.
We normally make 10 to 12 sorts on most jobs, and with the forwarder and the harvester, that's possible. Try to make something out of everything. Try to utilize everything I can, and this equipment makes that possible.
I mean, we have virtually a perfect sort. You can't accomplish that with a conventional just log loader loading out of a deck.
You're doing all of your merchandising here at the stump, and many sawmills today are starting to come around to the benefits of cut to length logging and what that can do for them to lower their internal costs, hence they don't have to have $1.5 million plus merchandiser at their sawmill to do the same thing that I can do right here at the stump.
Proportioned to handle large diameter trees with tops down to 2.5 inches, Valmet harvesting heads handle any thinning or final felling application.
It's a very good system. It's within the diameters, I would say, are within 1/8 of an inch accuracy all the time, or even closer. They're real good.
This design has a top and a bottom roller so that the head is suspended away from the log at all times, and in the way that the feed rollers clamp on the log, it holds it tightly against the measuring wheel, gets an accurate measurement, and it will flow to near its maximum speed in virtually any kind of timber. And we typically thin large diameter hemlock, about this big around, and about 100 foot tall, and that head will operate at 12+ feet per second on large diameter wood like that without slowing down.
They're nimble. They work pretty well on crooked wood because they're not as tall. The knives are fairly close together there. Where they grip the wood is only, what, 3 feet? A 3-foot section, so when you run into a crooked stick, it just kind of corkscrews through the head. and we do have some crooked wood around here.
That's why I bought the 965. Had the hardwood ability, the spring-loaded knives, the strength of the knives, and I felt it was a head that could cut in hardwoods day to day, and it would be here when it had 20,000 hours on it and 5 years later. I feel that head will still be in the same condition it is today.
That is a sweetheart of a machine. There's no two ways about it. It'll handle the steep ground. It's fast, the head, I like the workability of the head. You keep the knife sharp, keep your pressure set, and it goes.
The other processors I had, you had to hit one button to saw it, and then hit a feed roller button, and bump open the knives, and go down the tree, and then hit another button to saw it, and hit another button to feed roller. Where here I can just hang on to one button, and it's just so much easier for the operators. The operators love it.
This harvester has a maxi control system. You can multitask with the computer on this at any point in time while processing the tree. If you're seeing defect, just merely clicking up through the selections is lightning fast, and it will find that mark without hunting back and forth. It'll just find it and wham, and it cuts the log, and then you're on to the next one.
The computer, everything in that is so user-friendly. I'm living proof of that, that it's great.
The cabs have an ergonomically designed workspace. Operators experience less fatigue, allowing them to stay alert longer for more productive shifts.
Comfort of the machines in these rubber-tired machines, the design and for the operators is about as good as you can get. It's the Cadillac. It's really comfortable, you know, and the visibility is excellent.
The cab is I don't think anything else can compare with it, because you can see in 4 directions, and you rotate with the boom. So you can see your work. You're facing your work all the time.
This machine, you have 360-degree visibility. I use it all the time for backing up while processing, going around timber while processing. You can do all of the functions that you would normally do in a clear cut with a buncher style machine with a processing head. You can do at speed in a thinning with this machine with the visibility that you have. And you also have excellent visibility looking at the crowns of the timber, because that's the way you thin around here. The slope of the glass goes up far enough where you can just flick your eyes up and you can see the tops of the trees instead of opening the door and looking out.
One of the best working environments, I believe, a man in the woods could have. You know, you got air conditioning, CD player. It's a real beautiful visibility. It feels like you're setting dang near right out of the machine.
The ergonomics in the cab of that thing are better than they are in your Mercedes-Benz. It has a full climate control system. The seat in that thing is excellent, and for those of you who operate, you know how much pain you can go through on a 12-hour shift, and you do that 60, 70 hours a week. You cannot beat the 921 for ergonomics. It's fantastic.
I have hit the key, because I didn't think it was running. I've hit the key a second time. Ground the gears off the starter, whatever. Yeah, it's very quiet in there.
Servicing is easy and fast. Simple daily maintenance keeps these machines up and running all day.
I've been able to eliminate my mechanics in my shop. I don't need the mechanics, because the problems that we do have are smaller problems. You don't need to have the mechanical staff, which cuts your costs tremendously in a logging operation.
My first 860 forwarder I ran for 6 years. I put 22,000 hours on it and did not have any serious problems at all. It's been real good. Now I purchased my second 860 just this spring. I have full confidence in Valmet products. They're a good company with good after-sale support.
I have two cut-to-length systems. I only have to have 4 operators. If I were to produce this much wood with a conventional crew, I'd be looking at double that probably, at least.
Instead of bringing a feller buncher and a grapple skidder and a chipper and a slasher, we can come in with 2 pieces of equipment and 2 men instead of 4 or 5.
My fuel usage has gone down a lot per cord. You have the ability to use 15 to 20 gallons in a machine a day versus 40 to 50 gallons in a machine a day. And it's reduced my fuel cost per cord.
And our fuel costs after switching to this harvester from our old harvester dropped by half. That was a savings of about $2,000 a month.
If you've ever seen Valmet equipment in action, you understand. This is the future of the forest industry.
I'm pretty tickled with it. It's my baby.
It's a fun machine to run.
I love cut to length. I love the process. We're making more money now than we were with our conventional means, and it's a whole lot less stress. And I just love cut to length. It's excellent. I will never go back to tree length logging as long as I live.
I feel as loggers we have to do it better on the land, and all loggers feel that. We have to come to a higher bar, and I feel with cut to length we can achieve the higher bar. I can't achieve it with any other way.
If I was to have to go back to the old way of logging, I highly doubt that I would go back. I would probably find some other line of work.
In the woods, you've got to have high quality loggers, people that care about not only that they're making a dollar, but they care about how they're going to leave the forest for the next generation.
You got to buy something that's going to produce, and you got to have something that's going to produce every day. And that was my first mistake. I bought them, and I didn't spend the full dollars, and I wish I would have bought 911s 3 years ago. I'd be much further ahead than going through this learning curve of buying these other machines on tracks and trying to make those work and trying to make money with them.
I firmly believe the value to the landowner is what I leave behind, not what I take off right now. It's in what's left behind is where their value is big time.
Valmet's work. They cut, they produce, and they go every day.